What is going on, guys? NFL coaches go through more stress than just about any other coaches in professional sports. These guys put in ridiculous amounts of hours during the season, so it's easy to understand why they're so frequently on edge. Coaches usually prefer to let it all out of their system when the cameras aren't around, but sometimes the nature of the competition gets the best of them during the game. Here are 12 times where NFL coaches were caught ripping their players. Number 12, Doug Marrone versus Jaylen Ramsey. The Jacksonville Jaguars looked poised for something special with All-Pro cornerback Jaylen Ramsey. He's one of the few first-round picks this young franchise ever got right. He helped them reach the AFC Championship game in just their second season. But a tense locker room, awful management, and a strained relationship with coaches led to Ramsey's abrupt departure from Jacksonville. The writing was on the wall when Ramsey got into it with head coach Doug Marrone in the Jaguars' Week 2 2019 tilt against the Houston Texans.
Consecutive weeks.
That means I want you to have my back, and you don't have my back. And for a head coach to come over there against one of your best players, if not the best player, that's guarding the opposing team's best player.
Both angry men had to be restrained, and the Jaguars wound up losing the game. Ramsey was traded to the Rams ahead of the 2019 trade deadline, beginning a scorched earth rebuild in Duval County. Number 11, Bill Belichick vents to Tom Brady. Neither guy will admit it, but it seems like a strained relationship between Belichick and Brady led to the latter's departure from the New England Patriots in 2012. But for 2 decades, they put aside any differences and enjoyed 9 Super Bowl trips and 6 championship rings together. The Belichick-Brady relationship may have ended on a sour note, but for a long time, the bond was virtually unbreakable. They knew they could speak about anything when the occasion called for it. Take this instance, where Belichick vented about the rest of the team to Brady during a 2009 road loss to the New Orleans Saints.
We just have no mental toughness. We go on the road, we have no mental toughness. I just can't get this team to play the way we need to play. I just can't do it.
To be fair to Belichick, he always puts the blame on coaches after the game, so don't judge him too much for ripping on his players this one time. Number 10, John Gruden on Jeff Garcia. Former Tampa Bay Buccaneers and current Raiders head coach John Gruden is known for being a player's coach. He's got a big-time personality, a great sense of humor, and he really goes out of his way to form strong friendships with his players. But Gruden isn't always Mr. Nice Guy like Andy Reid or Pete Carroll. Gruden has a good balance, and he's not afraid to be overly critical when necessary. Few coaches have more timeless sound bites than Gruden, as evidenced by his somewhat harsh criticism here of quarterback Jeff Garcia.
You don't know if you're in Canada or San Jose right there. I mean, it's almost comical. Ah! You're throwing it like screaming. Were you screaming when you threw it?
No wonder ESPN hired this man for the Monday Night Football broadcast booth after his career. That's the type of critical analysis us fans want to hear. Number 9, Bruce Arians on Jamal Dean. In football, few things are more frustrating than when a penalty nullifies a big play, especially when it's a careless one. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers cornerback learned this when his team visited the Carolina Panthers in Week 2 of the 2019 season. His teammate, Bobo Wilson, recorded a nice punt return into Carolina territory, but Dean took a totally unnecessary illegal block in the back penalty, which wiped out Wilson's big return. Head coach Bruce Arians voiced his frustrations before giving Dean a bit of a smack across the helmet.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 35.
It's because of Jamal Dean, the rookie.
All was eventually forgiven, as Tampa Bay held on for a tight 20-14 win. Hopefully Dean learns to never commit a special teams penalty again as long as he's playing for Arians. Number 8, Josh McDaniels versus Tom Brady. Few assistants have had a more successful career than Josh McDaniels. He was on staff for all 6 New England Patriots Super Bowl championships, working with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick to craft out a bunch of historically dominant squads. McDaniels and Brady obviously had an excellent working relationship. Belichick and TB12 got most of the credit for New England's success in the 21st century. But hey, this team didn't win a single Super Bowl without McDaniels on staff. But even the best of friends and the strongest of working relationships can hit their bumps. During a Week 13 2017 road game against the Buffalo Bills, McDaniels got frustrated with Brady for failing to spot an open receiver. McDaniels went over to inform Brady of his mistake, but poor Josh unfortunately picked the wrong day to criticize his quarterback.
You know what? I know he was open. I know it.
I'm just telling you. I'm glad it's that civilized.
Yeah, the cameras caught Brady dropping the F-bomb towards his long-respected offensive coordinator, but the whole incident was quickly forgotten as New England cruised to another easy victory against their division rivals. Brady later downplayed the incident and admitted he felt bad all week, and that McDaniels knows how much he loves him. Number 7, Mike Singletary versus Troy Smith. Singletary's 3-year tenure as head coach of the San Francisco 49ers was relatively short and not so sweet. It spanned from 2008 to 2010, as he recorded a mere 18-22 record. When it comes to Singletary's brief coaching career. It's hard not to think about his rant against Vernon Davis. Remember? I want winners. Cannot play with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. But let's not forget the time where he engaged in a heated sideline confrontation with quarterback Troy Smith. That was something else.
And when you make the decision with Mike Singletary to go with Troy Smith, you know that there's going to be situations where there's going to be...
Number 6, Tom Coughlin on Matt Dodge. Few NFL head coaches ran a tighter ship than Tom Coughlin, but it worked during his time with the New York Giants. They went on to win 2 Super Bowls, both against the New England Patriots after all. Like a lot of old school coaches, Coughlin was always no nonsense and never afraid to go off on his players. And former punter Matt Dodge learned this during one of the most embarrassing moments in Giants football history. The G-men hosted the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 10 of the 2015 season. The winner would control their own destiny in the NFC East race. New York built up a 21-point mid-lead throughout the fourth quarter, but Michael Vick rallied the Eagles with 3 quick touchdowns to tie the game up. The defense held off Eli Manning, and overtime looked inevitable with only 14 seconds remaining. Rookie punter Matt Dodge just had to make sure Deshaun Jackson didn't get a clean return. It seemed like a simple task, but the miracle at the Meadowlands Part 2 was born instead. Jackson shocked New York with a 65-yard walk-off punt return touchdown to help the Eagles pull off the stunning comeback win. And sure enough, Coughlin absolutely lit into his punter for not doing his job.
No time left. Eagles.
Dodge booted a line drive instead of punting the ball out of bounds. Sadly, it cost him his career. The Giants released him before the 2011 season and found themselves a gem in Steve Weatherford, who helped them win Super Bowl 46. Dodge never played in the NFL after his 2010 rookie year. Number 5, Ken Whisenhunt on Regan Maui. The Arizona Cardinals were trailing the Buffalo Bills by 3 points in their Week 6 2012 showdown. Kevin Kolb completed a short pass to fullback Regan Maui, who proceeded to spike the ball after the play in celebration. But the officials immediately threw a flag on Maui for delay of game, and that quickly set off head coach Ken Whisenhunt.
Bring down. Re-signed by a marker down on the field. And Whisenhunt is hot.
Who do you think that's on?
We understand players want to get pumped up and celebrate, but a short game like that isn't worth getting too excited about. And it's definitely not worth getting an earful from your coach. Number 4, Bill O'Brien versus Tom Brady. Yeah, McDaniels isn't the only Patriots assistant who had a memorable moment with Brady on the sidelines. Before he became head coach at Penn State, and later the Houston Texans, Bill O'Brien served as an assistant on the New England Patriots offensive staff. After 2 years as the quarterback's coach, O'Brien was promoted to offensive coordinator for the 2011 season. But O'Brien's tenure with the Patriots is best remembered for one major sideline incident that went viral on the internet. It took place with Tom Brady during the Patriots Week 14 2011 road game against the Washington Redskins. On a 3rd and goal situation, Brady threw a careless interception in the red zone. New England just needed a field goal to put the game away, so O'Brien was quite livid. After the play, O'Brien confronted his star quarterback, but the always fiery and competitive Brady wasn't in the mood, and that led to their unforgettable sideline shouting match.
His offensive coordinator, fill in that is a heated conversation.
Brady quickly calmed down, but multiple coaches struggled to control O'Brien. Finally, Bill Belichick came over to put the confrontation to a halt. The Patriots went on to win the game, so we're sure that O'Brien and Brady made peace afterwards. Number 3, Ron Rivera on his defense. It didn't end on a great note, but Ron Rivera's tenure as head coach of the Carolina Panthers was nothing short of excellent. He won 2 Coach of the Year awards, guiding Carolina to 3 NFC South Division titles, as well as 4 playoff appearances and a trip to Super Bowl 50. Rivera was always well liked and respected among his players. Rivera knows when it's necessary to dish out some constructive criticism. Rivera wasn't happy with the defense's performance on one occasion, so he took a page out of Bill Belichick's playbook by yelling at the entire unit. Go get him, Ron.
You hammer your team. Bill Belichick was a master of that. When you're having your most success, you let them know everything you're doing wrong.
Number 2, Brian Cox versus Adam Hayward. You know you're probably a pretty bad football team when one of your players is getting into a physical confrontation with one of the coaches. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been quite dysfunctional for most of the 21st century when you take their Super Bowl 37 championship out of the equation. I mean, who can't forget the time when Adam Hayward shoved defensive line coach Brian Cox during a Week 15 2012 game in New Orleans.
Bushrod, and we'll take a look over there. Wow, Adam Hayward. And
Number 1, Bill Belichick. Do your job ×2. We end it with a special ×2 edition from the greatest head coach of all time. While at least Brady was smart enough to never engage in any heated shouting matches with head coach Bill Belichick. I think 90-something% of Patriots players in the Belichick era know to never mess around with their coach, ever. When he speaks with the media, Belichick is monotone and tends to come off as awfully grumpy. Maybe he's not super friendly with reporters, but it could be worse, like when Belichick's players get on his bad side. Now that's a scary sight. Belichick's whole do your job mantra has always worked in Foxborough. The players arrive in Patriot Place and always buy into the system, which emphasized nobody is bigger than the team. It's all business and winning first. And of course, no days off. It's not uncommon to see Belichick getting angry and frustrated on the sidelines. We've seen him chuck tables and grab an official, which resulted in a fine. But one of Belichick's most angry moments took place during the Patriots' 2007 AFC Divisional Round game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. New England, of course, finished the regular season with a perfect 16-0 record. A win against the Jaguars would make it 17-0 and place them in the AFC Championship game. But the Patriots were a bit sloppy on both ends, and the underdog Jaguars kept pace throughout the first half. The game was tied 14-all after 2 quarters, which prompted Belichick to unload on his defense.
Everybody do your job, right? Take care of your responsibility and just do it right for once.
The Patriots defense allowed just 6 points in the second half, and the offense took care of the rest. New England cruised to a 31-20 victory to reach the AFC title game. We all know how that season ended, with a loss to the New York Giants in Super Bowl 42. Oh, but that wasn't the only do-your-job rant from Belichick. This other one coincidentally took place against the Jaguars as well, but the circumstances were much different. New England hosted the lowly Jaguars in Week 16 of the 2009 season. The game wasn't even close, with the Pats holding a 35-0 lead in the fourth quarter. But the shutout ended with a 2-yard rushing touchdown from David Gerard to make it 35-7. Most people in the world wouldn't really care at that point, but not Belichick. As shown in A Football Life, Belichick took this opportunity to fire up his defense, with the postseason just 2 weeks away.
We ain't dancing until the damn game's over, you understand that? You played a defense for 60 minutes like a championship team's supposed to play, not like about a punks out there.
There were some expletive words in the rant that were bleeped out. Only Belichick would be this mad with his team up 28 points in the fourth quarter of a regular season game. I guess that's why he's the greatest coach ever. Did we miss any instances where coaches were caught ripping on their players during a game? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We are on everything. Go find us, go subscribe, go follow. And of course, like this video. It takes one click down below, and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day's a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.